Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News for this Monday, the 8th of July, 2019. In for Grant Olson, I'm Eric Granstorm. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look at outside our weather window. And it was kind of a mixed bag today with some sunshine and a few clouds. They did say we could expect maybe a thunderstorm or two to roll through the edges of our valley. And we did have a little bit of a thunder teaser. Now, for the rest of eastern Washington, it certainly was a day to watch out for thunderstorms. The National Weather Service saying the biggest chances were in the Cascades and in the northern mountains of eastern Washington, expecting some lightning, some downpours, gusty winds, and maybe even some small hail in portions of eastern Washington. We'll get to details on your forecast coming up in a little bit here on the NCWLIFE Evening News. For a few of the stories we're following for you tonight, a car went into Lake Chelan over the holiday weekend, causing delays, but luckily no injuries. McNeil Canyon was the site of a one-vehicle accident Saturday morning that was heard before it was seen. And some nervous moments for residents in the path of a brush fire near Manson Saturday afternoon. But first, we begin tonight. A man drowned Sunday in a rafting accident on the Wenatchee River. According to the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, 45-year-old Ronald Ripper of Monitor was floating down the river with his son and a pet pig in separate flotation tubes when the pig fell about midway between Monitor and Sleepy Hollow Bridge. Ripper jumped into the river in an attempt to rescue the pig, but was seen struggling to stay afloat. His adult son yelled to other people on the river and the shoreline that his father had disappeared underwater. Witnesses were able to locate the pig and take it to shore. Ripper was eventually located by deputies downstream near the Sleepy Hollow Bridge. Deputies entered the river and pulled him to shore. The victim was declared dead after 20 minutes of life-saving efforts by emergency crews with Ballard Ambulance. Chelan County coroner said the accidental death was caused by asphyxia due to freshwater drowning. Well, a vehicle drove into Lake Chelan Friday morning off State Route 150, causing some traffic delays. All of the occupants were able to exit the vehicle and get out safely, according to the Manson Volunteer Fire Department. The accident was on the Chelan side of Rocky Point. The SUV was fully submerged in the lake until a tow truck was able to pull it ashore as passing motorists and boaters watched on. Well, a driver was injured Saturday when the truck he was driving overturned on McNeil Canyon Road north of Orondo. These pictures were shared by the Orondo Firefighters Association on their Facebook page. Firefighters say it happened around 8:40 Saturday morning at the base of McNeil Canyon. It was reported by someone from the other side of the Columbia River who heard the accident and saw a large cloud of dust. Crews arrived to find a box truck on its side with heavy damage. Officials report the truck had been descending McNeil Canyon with a load of appliances when the driver lost control, causing the vehicle to overturn onto its side, sliding down the roadway and into the ditch. The driver was treated at the scene and transported to Lake Chelan Community Hospital. Well, a brush fire near Manson led to level 1 evacuation notices Saturday afternoon. NCWLIFE Channel's Kyle Montgomery reports.
An 18-year-old Everett man has been accused of causing a fire near Grade Creek Road over the weekend north of Manson. Arrested was Michael P. Popov. Jason Reinfeld of the Chelan County Sheriff's Office said fireworks were involved.
The fire had started and witnesses had identified a vehicle that was in the area, and deputies responded along with fire personnel. They were able to locate that vehicle, and one of them was specifically described by a witness, and they contacted the driver of that vehicle. And as a result of the interview with him, they were able to determine that he used fireworks to detonate inside of a mailbox, which caused this fire. And it ended up burning about 14 and a half acres, and a lot of resources were used to keep that fire from spreading, including District 5, Chelan, INEAT fire personnel, as well as DNR helicopter and Forest Service personnel.
Chief Arnold Baker of the Manson Volunteer Fire Department said crews had finished mopping up the fire by 8:30 that evening. The man likely faces charges of arson and malicious mischief for the destruction of the mailbox, Reinfeld said.
The actual criminal charge for the arson is due to the fact that he knowingly caused the explosion, and it was actually dangerous to any human life. including firefighters. And the malicious mischief portion was for the destruction of the mailbox.
With NCWLIFE News, I'm Kyle Montgomery.
Thank you, Kyle. Still to come here on the NCWLIFE Evening News, an Okanagan County Sheriff Sergeant and deputy have been cleared in a June 3rd shooting. Douglas County's probation system is having a hard time keeping up, and the effort to undo taxes passed in the last legislative session fell short on Friday. I'm Eric Granstorm, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat, poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
And welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In for Grant Olson, I'm Eric Grandstrom. Well, the Okanagan County Sheriff's Office sergeant and deputy who were involved in the June 3rd shooting of a suspect have been cleared and are back to work. The shooting was deemed justified after an investigation by the North Central Washington Special Investigations Unit. The suspect, Lance R. Bowers, age of 37, was treated at the hospital for a gunshot injury, then taken to jail. It began with a call about a car on fire on Frosty Creek Road south of Tonasket, the body of a woman in the trunk of the vehicle. A witness told deputies Bowers had been seen leaving the area. They later located Bowers near the Ioannis General Store about 2 miles away. When Sergeant Tate Everett and Deputy Isaiah Holloway confronted Bowers, they said he displayed a gun. Both Everett and Holloway fired at Bowers, with one bullet striking him in the torso. The woman found in the trunk of the car has not yet been identified. Well, Douglas County District Court Judge Eric Bigger says the court's probation department is seriously understaffed. The county currently has one probation officer who's responsible for inmates who are placed in court-ordered supervision after they have served their jail sentences. But Bigger says the current caseload is more than the office can handle, and that one officer can handle by himself.
I had my staff run records of individuals that are currently under supervision, and from 2010 up to today. And so we currently have roughly 850 people on supervision. And these are people that are past convictions, current convictions for driving under the influence, driving suspended first, domestic violence. I mean, the whole gamut of offenses that we see in district court. But there's no way our probation officer can really supervise these individuals other than check their criminal histories every month or two. And at least in the court sense, that's not adequate for an effective probation department. And there is no way that any one probation officer can handle that current caseload.
Now, Bigger is asking county commissioners to consider hiring an additional staff person to do the clerical work that is currently being handled by the probation officer. Well, an effort to undo all the taxes passed by the state legislature this past year failed to garner enough signatures to qualify for the November ballot. Supporters of Initiative 1648 needed almost 260,000 valid signatures, but fell short of 200,000 by the Friday deadline. Former State Representative Kerry Condana, host of NCW Life Channel's The 12th District Show, and Mike McKee, owner of Mike's Meats in Wenatchee and Quincy, helped lead the signature gathering effort. Initiative 1648 would have nullified $27 billion from 11 new taxes passed by the 2019 legislature. In addition, it would have put a 12-month sunset on any new taxes. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us. Highlander Golf Course is proud to announce their 2 new state-of-the-art full-swing golf simulators with over 80 courses of virtual golf to choose from year-round. Or try their Laser Shot simulated firearm program, or gaming with football, basketball, and much more. Enjoy Highlander food and drink service from their full-service bar and grill in the comfort of their simulator room. Call the Highlander Pro Shop to book your time at 884-4653. That's 884-4653.
Being able to support yourself and your family is an important part of who we are. We all need to know we're able to provide ourselves with a secure future. Some job seekers have a harder time finding work. That's why Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is here, a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to help people find work. When you shop at or donate to Goodwill, you're really being a job creator, and that's a good thing for everyone's future. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Thanks for watching the NCW Life Evening News for this Monday, the 8th of July, 2019. In for Grant Olson, I'm Eric Granstorm. In our feature story tonight, voters in the areas served by Link Transit will be asked next month to approve an increase in the local sales tax of 0.2% to fund an expansion to their services. On a recent visit to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Link General Manager Richard DeRock explained some of the improvements planned.
And what this would fund is Sunday service for the first time ever. It would fund service till about 11:30 at night on all the major routes, including up to Leavenworth and Chelan. It would fund a much better Saturday service. We only operate about 20% of our system on Saturdays that we operate Monday through Friday. And then higher frequencies, more convenient service in town. So in the Wenatchee, East Wenatchee area, we'd have more direct service. Right now, it takes a really long time to go from East Wenatchee to Wenatchee. The largest place people live that work at the hospital is East Wenatchee. And the fastest we can get you from East Wenatchee to the hospital is an hour and 15 minutes right now because it takes 2 transfers. Mm-hmm. This would provide direct service between those communities and the businesses on this side of the river so that we can make commuting much more viable and actually take some pressure off of the 2 bridges.
Dominic Bonney of the group Yes on Prop 1 explained that anyone who travels in north central Washington should vote yes, whether they ride Link or not. More than 30 projects over the next 6 years would be funded if Proposition 1 passes.
You have sat in traffic, then you should vote yes on Link Prop 1 because it's going to do a lot to relieve congestion. Another thing that I would have to say is that when you live in a community and you are a person of means or you're a person who can afford to have a vehicle or 2 vehicles, we need to think about the least in our community. That's a Christian value that I believe in. And when you think about the least among us, you realize that 2 cents out of every $10 is really nothing. It's not that much at all.
Well, we certainly hope you had a safe and sane 4th of July holiday weekend. For many, it turned into a 4-day holiday weekend, and it was actually pretty nice. A little bit of a mixed bag and not too hot. And that was what we enjoyed here for this Monday. With the cloud cover that we had today, as we look outside the weather window, you can see the clouds that kind of hung around in our banana effect here in the Wenatchee Valley, hung up over the mountaintops. Didn't really get too much in the valley floor, but did kind of keep things covered up, so we didn't quite reach that 83-degree high that was anticipated today. In fact, I don't even know if we got to that 81. We were having to scoot to get to that, but that was the expected high here later on this afternoon. 61, the overnight low, that took place at about, 4 o'clock this morning, as we had that cloud cover that kind of moved in overnight and kept things relatively mild for the overnight temperatures. As you can see, we're just about normal for this time of year. 85 for the high, 60 for the overnight lows. Now, the record high for today was set a couple of different times in 2012 and 1968, the year of my birth. We were at 103 degrees, 45 the record low in 1981. No precipitation to measure at all up at Pangbourne Memorial Airport so far for the year. We're at 4.18 inches of rainfall. Sunrise this morning, 5:13. Sunset tonight, again late at 8:58. But we have passed that summer solstice, and we are now starting to see the days wane just a little bit, losing a whole minute of daylight every day as we get further and further through summer. Let's see what's in store for us here as far as the predictions from windy.com. We appreciate them to help us out here with the ridge of pressures. You see this low pressure that's over us. That's causing that instability that will move through here tonight, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and into Wednesday. That will cause maybe some more thunder shower activity and definitely some light precipitation. Not much as far as the Wenatchee Valley is concerned, just a very light amount, less than tenths of an inch. We'll get you details in that forecast coming up. Now, as the rest of the week progresses, we're going to see these clouds move through Wednesday night. We're going to see this pattern where we'll have nice clear days and then a little overcast comes in overnight, so it keeps it kind of warm, and then the sun comes back out the next day, and that gets it even hotter and hotter and hotter. So we're going to have this trend continue for the last part of the week and into the first part of the weekend. We're looking at Saturday really warming up to back into the 90s, so more seasonable type of temperatures here for north central Washington. Let's take a look at our quick lube and tune forecast now here on the NCWLIFE channel. As you can see, expecting maybe some thunder shower activity overnight tonight. Not much really. If we do, it'll be maybe just to hear, you'll hear it, thunder boom here and there, but for our neck of the woods, not too much. If you go to Spokane, you go to the northeast corner of the state, you will see definitely more of that. As we continue, the overnight low with the cloud cover tonight going to be fairly warm, about 63 for the overnight low. Increasing clouds coming up tomorrow with a 30% chance of shower. That's going to be later in the day tomorrow, so we're going to have sunshine to begin with, then the clouds will build up and maybe that chance of shower in the afternoon. Still warm tomorrow with that sunshine early in the day. 87 are expected high. We're going to get down into the 68-degree range tomorrow night with cloudy skies continuing into Wednesday morning. Still a slight chance of showers through the day off and on. We'll call it intermittent showers on Wednesday. 83 for the high. That cloud and moisture will kind of cool things off a little bit. For me, this is absolutely perfect. 65 for the overnight low. Tomorrow we'll see, as we head into Wednesday, we'll see sunny skies developing and continue all the way through the weekend with high temperatures reaching up near 90 by Saturday. That's your quick lube and tune forecast on the NCWLIFE channel. Coming up next, I'll have your sports. Stay right there.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, serving north central Washington, is proud to offer the finest heating and cooling air quality products along with prompt and professional customer service since 1984. Regardless of the temperature outside, Arctic is here for you. Arctic offers a variety of services: residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, commercial refrigeration, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
Moving doesn't have to be back-breaking, stressful work. And I don't want you to make a move that way ever again.
Traditionally, you would rent a truck. You would load up your stuff. You would rent a storage unit. You would transport it. And finally, you would unload your stuff yourself. You don't have to lift a finger. We bring the mobile storage unit to you, we drop it off, then one of our trusted packers can load it for you. We come pick it up and store it securely for you. We bring it back to you. No hassle, no stress.
Are you watching me? If you're watching me and you are a business owner in North Central Washington, your potential customers could be seeing your TV commercial right now. With Solion Broadcasting, TV advertising is effective and affordable. Place your ads on the network best suited to your potential customers, or get top-of-mind awareness with 16 cable networks, including NCWLIFE, your local TV channel. Give Solion Broadcasting a call at 888-2020 today to see how easy and affordable it is to advertise on TV.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you. The United States women's national team is once again a World Cup champion. The U.S. topped the Netherlands 2-0 to capture its fourth FIFA World Cup title Sunday and second in a row. Megan Rapinoe scored the game's first goal on a penalty kick in the 61st minute. Rose Lavelle scored the backbreaker 5 minutes later as the United States proved once again to be the best women's soccer team in the world. From Lyon, France to Bend, Oregon, Blake Klassen's RBI single in the top of the 8th broke a 2-2 tie, and the Wenatchee Apple Sox would add one more run in the inning to beat the Bend Elks by a final of 4-2 on Sunday. Landon Shire earned his fourth save of the season, working perfectly over the final 2 innings in relief with 3 strikeouts. For more on last night's game, we turn to the voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman.
Sunday night, the Wenatchee Apple Sox picked up a 4-2 victory over the Bend Elks to not only wrap up the first half, but also pick up a 2-1 series victory over the Elks at Vince Guenna Stadium in Bend, Oregon. The Apple Sox led 2-0 going into the bottom of the 3rd inning, but the Bend Elks got on the board with 1 run then, and then would score again in the 6th inning to tie things up, but the Apple Sox would score twice in the 8th inning, and then Landon Shire tossed the 8th and 9th innings to pick up his 4th save of the season. The Apple Sox have Monday off and then begin second half play on Tuesday when they take on the Elks at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. With your Apple Sox report, I'm Joel Norman.
Thank you much, Joel. Wenatchee finished the first half of the season, by the way, with a 12-15 record. That was good enough for 3rd place in the North Division standings. As Joel mentioned, Bend will be in town for the first of 3 games tomorrow night, which is the first ever bobblehead night for Apple Sox fans. The first 400 into the ballpark will get a Coyote bobblehead. That's tomorrow night, 6:35 start time for that. Of course, we are preparing for our second broadcast of Apple Sox baseball this Saturday when the Sox host the Bellingham Bells at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Our pregame begins at 6:15 with the first pitch at 6:35. Yours truly will have your play-by-play. We'll take a look at the Les Schwab West Coast League scoreboard from Sunday. Bellingham's Troy Viola broke up a no-hit bid in the 6th inning with his 2-out single. But that would be the only hit against Victoria's Jack Neely and Aaron Celestino. As the Harbor Cats won 8-1, Harrison Spahn hit a 2-run home run for Victoria as the Cats won the first half title of the North Division with an 18-9 record. Austin Bell's 2-run triple highlighted a 4-run 7th as Cowlitz beat Port Angela 6-3. 15 was the magic number for Corvallis Sunday as the Knights won their 15th straight game by downing Ridgefield 15-5. Briley Knight had 3 of Corvallis' 20 hits, including a 3-run home run, as the Knights claimed the first half title in the South with a record of 21-6. Chase Luttrell and Everett Lau each hit home runs as Portland topped Yakima Valley 11-4. The Pickles took 2 of 3 from the Pippins in that 3-game weekend series. Michael Petrie was 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs to lead Walla Walla to a 6-3 win over Kelowna. So here's the first half standings in the West Coast League's North Division. There you have it. Victoria punching its ticket to the postseason by winning the first half with that record of 18-9. Bellingham second at 16-11. Wenatchee finished third at 12-15. Yakima Valley also 12-15, so they tied for third. Kelowna and Port Angeles on the bottom of the stack. Oakland scored 5 runs in the first inning and held on to beat Seattle 7-4 Sunday at T-Mobile Park. The loss for the Mariners came despite a career day for catcher Omar Narvaez, who went 4 for 4 with 2 solo home runs and 4 RBIs. Seattle finishes the first half of the season 39-55 as Major League Baseball takes time out for the All-Star break this week. Mariners' next game will be on Friday in L.A. against the Angels. Daniel Vogelbach will be Seattle's lone representative in the Midsummer Classic tomorrow in Cleveland. Home Run Derby is underway as we speak. Also in the American League West on Sunday, it went extras. George Springer's walk-off single in the bottom of the 11th gave Houston an 11-10 win over the Angels Sunday at Minute Maid Park. Rougned Odor's 3-run home run at the top of the 11th gave Texas a 4-1 win over Minnesota. The Astros are 7.5 games in front of Oakland in the American League West at 57-33. Texas 9 games back and third, that is. Mariners bring up the bottom of the stack, 20 games out of first place. Finally, a long night of racing at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval night on Saturday night. Not one, not two, but three double main events. Quincy's Michael Knutson grabbed the checkered flag in both mains for the Jerry's Auto Supply late models. His brother Glenn finished just behind him in both those events. Wenatchee's Mike Sims drove to first in both main events for Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning Thunder Cars. Josh Mock was first in the first main for the Plum Perfect Roadrunners. Arlington's Jonah Vick placed first in the second main for the Roadrunners. And it was Tacoma's Pete Brady finishing first in the main event for the Northwest Pro 4 trucks. Next race at the Super Oval will be July 20th with Thunder in the Valley open wheel show featuring Economy Midgets, Granite Evergreen Super Sprints, OTRA, Northwest Mini Stock Tour, and the West Coast Vintage Racers. Speaking of racing, our kicker video tonight, I'll take you via cell phone camera of one of my classmates from high school, Curtis Williams and his wife Wendy, who were in Michigan at a short track raceway for a different kind of racing. Well, what do you think? Maybe something we could look forward to at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval? Boat towing racing. If you have a video of the day you'd like to see on the NCWLIFE Evening News, message us on our Facebook page and at the NCWLIFE channel. That's going to do it for tonight's newscast. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCWLIFE channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with your host, Dan Kuntz. I'm Eric Granstorm. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night. NCWLIFE channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's Learn, Guada TV, Street Talk and Other Stuff, the 12th District, Life with Lisa, and the Arbiter of Stoke. NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station.
Only one dealership in Wenatchee has Motor Trend's SUV of the Year and Truck of the Year. That's right, Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram has the all-new Jeep Wrangler and the all-new Ram 1500 pickup. Or get the best of both worlds in the new Jeep Gladiator. Visit Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram today for more information on these award winners and see why there's no reason to leave town to buy your next vehicle.
Hey there, Wenatchee. Wenatchee, I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.